Hey guys, it's Marshall Ting with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside report for this past week, the week of April 6th through the 12th. So I can summarize up last week in pretty much 2 words: wet and wild. We all know how wet it was at the start of the week. All this flooding, all the damage that went on. My Monday sale, I actually had to drive through water to get to the barn and pretty much light test just because of the weather. But by the back half of the week, say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this market gained some serious ground. Everybody pretty much forgot about all the flooding, forgot about the tariff scares, and they were there to buy cattle and buy cattle in a strong way. So let's talk about this real fast. So as far as statewide on your run, 10,366 head of cattle marketed across the state of Kentucky. If you compare that to this time last week, you're back about 5,000 head. If you compare it to this time a year ago, you're back about 7,000 head. So that just shows you how much water we did get. But let's talk about what this market did. So USDA said that there was no trend just to the light runs due to the weather. However, they did state by the back half of the week, the market was firm to $8 higher, some instances $12 higher. And I can tell you right now, at my Thursday sale, you couldn't tell anything was going on in the world around us, guys. They were there. They were hungry for cattle, and this market was booming right along, just like nothing had happened in the world around us. So let's talk about these prices real fast. So your full-weight steer cattle, call them $390 as an average. They topped off at $425. Your 5-weight steer cattle, $350 as an average. They topped off at $4. Your 6-weight steer cattle, $315 as an average. They topped off at $350. But let's talk about these 8-weight loads. Here's an example of what I'm talking about when I said that by midweek, this market had turned around. So your first 2 loads are going to be from the first half of the week. The last load is going to be from Friday. So compare these guys just for yourself. 62 head of black steers weighed 811 at $273.50. Still a really good trade, but you haven't seen Friday yet. Here's another set of 63 head of black steers, 836 at $277. And then here's Friday's deal, guys. Here's 65 head of black steers, weighed 859 at $285. So as you can see right there, that's about an $8 to $9 jump just in a matter of 3 days right there in the market. So that's a really good sign there, but it didn't just affect these steers. Check out these heifers on the back half of the week. Here's 67 head of black heifers, weighed 468 on the average at $370. And then here's your set of 6-weight heifers now. 46 head of black heifers, weighed 655 at $326. So as you can see, the back half of the week, this thing looked really good. And I can tell you right now, for where we're standing in this current week, this thing is rolling right along. This market is really, really good. These runs have jumped up big time. That's why I'm coming to you on a Wednesday afternoon, not a Tuesday morning or a Wednesday morning, guys. We have been running wide open. Now, let's talk about your CME feeder cattle index. So Monday the 7th, you're at 290.53. Tuesday the 8th, 290.61. Now, when we get to Wednesday, we backed up just a little bit just because of the way the average rolls over from last week when the market kind of dropped back a little bit. Wednesday the 9th, 287.29. Thursday the 10th, 286.13. And we started gaining some ground back on Friday. Friday the 11th, 287.16. So that's what's going on in your CME feeder cattle index. That's what's going on in your cash market here in the state of Kentucky, guys. If you have any questions about any of this information or you're interested in the LRP policy, there really is no better time than right now to invest in one of those. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the guys. Call Ian Thomas at 859-613-2453. Call Adam Shoemaker at 859-338-4116 or call Cole Clark at 859-865-2980 or check them out on the web www.superioragins.com. As always, thank you so much. Enjoy this pretty blue sky. Enjoy the wind. Enjoy the green grass. Talk to you next week.